So he closed your weary eyelids and whispered, "Peace be thine." It broke our hearts to lose you, but you didn't go alone, for part of us went with you the day God called you home. Let's take a moment and bow our heads in silence. Lord, please bless this ceremony, this special celebration of the life of Marilyn Ortiz. Console us and give us your strength to support one another and to live in the spirit of love that exemplified Marilyn's life each and every day. Amen.
I'd like to now introduce my Uncle Roy, who's going to be delivering the eulogy.
Thanks for coming, everybody. I'm Marilyn's little brother, Roy. She was 8 years older than me, and her big brother, Neil, is in the back. He's 3 years older than her. Marilyn was born Marilyn Claire Irving in Montebello in 1940. She had 6 children, 7 grandchildren, and 2 great-grandchildren. Some of my earliest memories of Marilyn are her teaching me to read when I was 3 years old. And this was our version of Head Start back in the 1950s. She taught me to read. She taught me basic arithmetic, which gave me a big advantage when I did start going to school. In those days, our main form of entertainment was our one radio in the kitchen. And in the evening, we would sit around the radio, listen to The Lone Ranger, Roy Rogers, Jack Benny, lots of programs. Her favorite, though, was Roy Rogers, mainly because she loved his singing, and it was her idea to name me Roy.
Roy Rogers.
That's how I got my name. We didn't get our first black and white TV till she was 12, and I was glued to it, but I don't remember her spending a lot of time watching it. I think it was just kind of a novelty to her. So she grew up before the days of TV and video screens. We were brought up to love nature and animals. Our parents every summer would take us on a camping trip for 1 or 2 weeks. Every other year it was Yosemite, where our parents spent their honeymoon. And on the in-between years, we'd go to other national parks, state parks, national forests, lots of natural places. They would also take us to zoos and aquariums. So Marilyn and I both grew up loving animals, especially dogs. I can't hardly remember a time Marilyn didn't have pets, and she had a lot of dogs over the years. I saw a dog here tonight, and I was thinking, if Marilyn had planned this, she would have asked everybody to bring a dog. Our mother was an incredible piano player. She actually used to play piano for silent movies. And she encouraged all of us to play an instrument, and Marilyn's instrument was the violin, although she was much more interested in singing. She didn't stick with the violin very long, but she was an excellent singer. She sang in the high school choir. Even as a little kid, I could tell she had a great voice. She could hit a high C on a good day. And our mother would accompany her on the piano and then later on the organ. And especially at Christmas time, they would sing Christmas carols with my mom on the piano. Marilyn went on to sing in her Catholic church choir in Diamond Bar. She was a good student. I know that because I had a lot of the same teachers, and at the beginning of the year, they'd all tell me what a good student Marilyn was. No pressure.
Did you hear that?
She was good at a lot of subjects, including math, which girls were not supposed to be in the 1950s, but she was very good at math. I believe she took calculus in high school, which I never did. She grew up Catholic, and that was her choice, and that was kind of an act of nonconformity against our dad. Our dad was not Catholic. He wanted us to go to his church. But Marilyn said, no, I'm going to be Catholic like my mother. And our dad respected her decision, and I heard many years later he was actually very impressed that she said no to him. She started high school when I was 7, so I didn't get to spend a lot of time with her after that. And she met her husband-to-be, Tony, when she was 17, and 2 years later they eloped and ran off to Hawaii. Thanks a lot, Tony. I don't know much about what she did during those 2 years in Hawaii, but I do know she spent a lot of time in the sun, because when she got back I hardly recognized her because she was so tan and so blonde. She'd never been that tan and blonde before. She had an incredible amount of energy. She spent a lot of time with each of her kids. She made each of their birthdays a grand event with themes and decorations and invite all the kids in the neighborhood. She was a den mother for Cub Scouts. She drove her kids to sports, choir, plays, Cub Scouts, brownies, and she helped her kids with their homework, and she was still good at math. She always supported her kids' choices and gave them the freedom to make their own mistakes. And when the kids got older and didn't keep her busy enough, then she got a part-time job at a restaurant where she loved socializing with the customers and her co-workers. And then later she got a real estate license, and she loved meeting people and talking with a lot of interesting people. Unfortunately, when she was about 50, her marriage ended. And she went to work for the city of Diamond Bar in 1991, where she made a lot of new friends, including Carol Dennis, whom she soon moved in with and lived with for the rest of her life. While she was working in Diamond Bar, and again when she was working later in Colorado, she was the person in the office that everybody came to when they had computer problems, which is pretty amazing because she grew up before there were computers and televisions. Probably learned that from some of her kids. Marilyn had always wanted to live closer to nature, and in 1998 she applied for a job in Walsenburg, Colorado, and she flew out for an interview. She got the job, and she and Carol moved to Colorado. They bought a nice old house, about a 100-year-old house, with a big backyard, and Marilyn loved gardening, so she had a beautiful garden in Colorado where she spent a lot of her time. She made a lot of friends in Colorado. And just as she always had, she would go out of her way to help anyone who needed help, friends, strangers, or the homeless. She made lots of trips to visit her kids and her grandkids. She loved visiting her grandkids. Marilyn was a truly good person. She was always smiling. She rescued stray dogs. She fed the homeless. She shared food, flowers, and seeds with her neighbors. She listened without judgment. So thanks, Marilyn, for being such a good brother and a good mom to your kids and a good grandmother and being kind and generous to everyone you met. And I hope it's true that all dogs go to heaven, because it just wouldn't be right for you to be there without one. That wasn't me.